This mini-movie is a crime/drama starring Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx and Jada Pinkett Smith, where a LA cab driver gets entangled in a hitman's contract-killing assignment and forced to drive him to 5 other targets. Try guessing the Rotten Tomatoes score by the end. There will be spoilers. Let's get started. Our crime/drama movie opens with an LA cab driver, Max, who starts his night shift picking up a female passenger as his first passenger for the night. The passenger gave Max her regular route to her office. Knowing the road much better, Max suggested a different and faster route. The passenger insisted on her route, but surprised with Max's boldness, she challenged Max on a bet and agreed on Max's suggestion. In the car, the passenger did some paperwork, but looking out the window, she realized Max's route was indeed faster, so she got into a conversation with him. Max shared that his driving is just a temporary job because he is saving up for his dream business, a limo company. Max said, judging from her pinstriped suit, briefcase, and purse, that she is a lawyer. The passenger was impressed with Max's intuition, and as guaranteed by Max, they got to the lawyer's office faster. Before the lawyer got out of the cab, Max asked her if she liked what she does. She took a long pause and said she does. She adds she will study the whole night for her big case the following day and gives Max her business card. Before Max drove off, a second passenger approached his cab, but Max did not immediately notice the passenger. As the passenger walks to the next cab, Max calls him. The man gets in the cab, Max asks for his destination and then drives off. Inside the cab, the man initiated a conversation with Max, but Max wasn't as chatty this time. He asked the passenger if it was his first time in LA. The passenger said no, but added he didn't like LA. He said, LA is a sprawling city but disconnected. Nobody knows each other. He said he once read about a man who rides the metro train, dies, and takes 6 hours before anybody finds out he is dead. He was making a conversation and trying to be friendly to put Max at ease with him. At the passenger's destination, before getting off, he offered Max to drive for him for the whole night for $600. He said he just needed to do a round of visits and fly out of LA in the morning. Max earns about $400 a night, but the offer is a violation of company policy. Max is assured by the passenger that it's all right while quickly shoving the money in Max's hands and tells him to wait by the alley. He introduced himself as Vincent. Max parks the cab along the alley as instructed by Vincent and waits. He relaxes inside his cab, looks at a picture of his dream limo, and prepares his sandwich dinner. After he made his first bite into his sandwich, a bloodied body intensely dropped on his cab and broke his windshield. Shocked, Max frantically rushed out the cab and incoherently talked to the dead man to check if he was alive. Vincent suddenly came out of the building, appearing rushed and tense. Max realized it was he who killed the man. Vincent threatened to shoot Max, ordered him to help him carry the dead body inside the cab's trunk. Max, still shaking, followed. Vincent washed the blood off the cab and ordered Max to drive to his next destination. Max asks why he killed the man. Vincent says he was just hired to eliminate bad people. He doesn't know any details about the people who hired him or the people he kills. On the way to the next task, they were pulled over by the LAPD police because of the cab's broken windshield. Before the dead body is discovered, the LAPD police got a radio call to respond to a crime, so they let Max go and instructed him to report back to his company's garage after dropping off his passenger. Before Vincent goes out of the cab for his second task, he ties Max to the steering wheel to prevent him from escaping. But, before he leaves, Max gets a radio call from his boss telling him his boss got a call from the police about the broken windshield and angrily told Max he has to pay. Vincent answered for Max and introduced himself as a U.S. assistant attorney who will report his extortion of Max to the DMV. Max's boss suddenly backed down. Vincent then left and proceeded to finish his assignment. While Vincent was away, Max tried to call the attention of passers-by by honking the car. A group of men came to him, but instead of helping him, robbed him and took Vincent's briefcase. Just as the men were walking away, Vincent came and shot the two robbers, retrieved his briefcase and Max's wallet. Vincent warned Max not to call attention to himself, otherwise, people will get killed. Meanwhile, an LAPD narcotics detective discovered the first murder. The victim was the detective's confidential informant. Finding the disarrayed apartment and broken window, he reported the crime to the Specialist Investigation Department to investigate the scene. Max continued to drive for Vincent until Max's boss radioed again. This time about Max's mother, who asks the boss why Max hasn't dropped by the hospital that night. Vincent goes to the hospital with Max. While Vincent was chatting with Max's mother, Max picked up Vincent's briefcase, ran towards the expressway bridge, and tossed the briefcase over. Vincent loses the files he needs to finish his 2 remaining assignments but refuses to shoot Max. He ordered Max to disguise himself as Vincent and go to his client to ask for the names of his remaining 2 targets. While Max was negotiating with Vincent's client inside an exclusive club, his cab with the broken windshield was discovered by the LAPD police through a camera. Vincent's client was apparently under FBI surveillance. The detective and FBI zeroed in on his cab's plate number and quickly did a background check. The FBI instructed the detective that they would take over from there, but the detective refused to let go. Max was able to get the information from Vincent's client, and as Max and Vincent left for the 4th target's location, the FBI followed them. The detective secretly followed them in his car. Vincent and Max searched for the 4th target inside a noisy and crowded club. Several bodyguards surrounded Vincent's target, but Vincent eliminated the bodyguards one after the other. When the head of the FBI team saw Max, he called him Vincent and ordered him to stop. Max shouted back, "He is not Vincent." When one of the FBI agents introduced himself to one of the bodyguards, shots were exchanged. The detective, knowing Max is innocent, collared Max and led him to safety outside the club. Vincent ends up killing his target. When he came out of the club, he saw the detective and shot him dead. As Max drives Vincent to his last target, Max loses it and crashes the cab. When Vincent hears police cars come, he struggles out of the cab and runs towards his 5th target's office. The police helped Max, but when the police saw the dead body inside the trunk, he asked Max to get down on his knees. As Max was being cuffed, he saw Vincent's computer showing Anna, the U.S. attorney, as the last target. He immediately wrestled with the police, put him in cuffs, got Anna's business card, and ran towards her office. Knowing Anna was working late, he called her to warn her. Vincent found Anna, but Max came in time to save Anna. They ran towards the metro and got into one of the coaches. Vincent ran and followed them. At the end of the train, with nowhere else to run, Max exchanged shots with Vincent. Vincent ran out of bullets but was unable to refill his gun, slumped on the coach seat, bloodied. Max slowly came out of the last coach with his gun aimed at Vincent. Seeing Vincent hurt, he told Vincent they were near the next stop. Vincent says, "Hey Max. A guy gets on the metro here in LA and dies. Think anybody will notice?" Then slowly dropped his head and dies. The movie closes with Max and Anna stepping out of the rain and walking out of the metro. That's the end of our mini-movie. Can you guess the movie rating? We'll give you a moment. Collateral was released in 2004. Critics gave it a 86% tomato score, 84% by the audience, and Mini Movies rates it 8 out of 10 doggy treats. If you enjoyed this mini movie, you can support the movie by watching Collateral or following us on social media.